Hey everybody, this is Nathan Wine now here for segment number 4, my birthday special for Daniel, in which I'm going to be doing a game of Jeopardy for the Wii. So let's see if I can win a ton of money for Daniel here. Hopefully it goes Jeopardy. Well. So for this game, I'm going to be taking on Hitty and Holly. Okay.
And now, here is the host of Jeopardy, Alex Trebek.
Thanks, Johnny. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Jeopardy. Good luck to all three of you.
Let's see what our categories are going to be for the Jeopardy round.
And we have one daily double awaiting you in these categories. Adventures in the air. Fictional characters. Star Trek jargon.
Oof.
Countries by newspaper. That's my ma.
Ma in quotation marks.
And the animal kingdom.
Kind of mixed on these categories, to be honest. We'll see how I do with them. Fictional characters, 1,000.
She's the title heroine of Green Gables.
Oh, but I know this one.
1908 book.
Who's Anne?
Yes, player one. Use the Wii remote or press the corresponding correct.
All right.
Select again.
Star Trek jargon for 1,000.
This crystal regulates matter-antimatter reactions that provide energy for travel faster than light. Let's hear it, player one.
What is dilithium?
Yes.
All right.
You get to pick again, player
That's
one.
my ma, 1,000.
Dr. Faustus, playwright. Yes, player one.
Who is Christopher Marlowe?
That's correct.
All right. Off to a really good start.
Choose again.
The Animal Kingdom, 1,000.
Fruit and lizards, yum, are favorite foods of the coati, also known by
I think it's what's
this
Cotamundi?
longer name.
I feel like I've had this clue
Player
before.
one. That's correct.
All right.
Player one.
Countries by newspaper, 1,000.
Jyllands Posten, Politiken. Let's hear it, player one.
What is Germany? No. Nope.
Any other takers?
Well, at least I got out to a pretty good start. But if I had to guess, maybe Denmark.
Here's what we wanted. Denmark.
Yep, my second guess was right.
Player
oh well.
one.
Adventures in the Air, 1,000. And there's a daily double. Alright, and it is early, so might as well bet it all.
You are in the lead right now. Here is your daily double clue. In 1909, Louis Blériot became the first person to fly in a plane over this, between Great Britain and France.
What is the English Channel?
Alright,
double my score to 6,000.
Player one, you pick again.
Alright, now that I found the daily double, we'll go for more random clue selection here. So I'll pick fictional characters for 4.
Snip, Snap, and Snurr, who star in a series of books, are brothers from this Scandinavian country. Player one?
What is Sweden?
Yeah.
Alright.
You get to pick again.
I'll go with Star Trek jargon for 600.
When Spock checks chronometric data, he's looking at
what's the space-time continuum?
This continuum.
It's funny, I don't even really watch Star Trek, and I know some of these answers. Just because I've heard about them a lot, but
right.
Yes, it's a space-time continuum.
We return to you, player one.
I'll go with Adventures in the Air for 200.
Hitting a speed of about 800 miles per hour, Chuck Yeager broke this barrier in October
What's
of
the sound barrier?
Okay, player one. Right you are.
And my opponents are still at 0.
Please pick again, player one.
Animal Kingdom 8.
Here's Kelly to start us off.
If you see one of these under the sea, look, but don't touch. The spines can be poisonous.
What's an urchin, right?
Let's hear it, player one.
It's gotta be. Yep.
Player one, back
All
to
right.
you for our next
Ma for
selection.
6.
A doctor who specializes in the treatment of skin diseases. It's player one.
What's a dermatologist?
Yeah, good.
I should definitely know that one.
Choose again, player one.
Countries 4.
The Shizuoka Shimbun. The Nikkan
What's Japan?
Ubejiho. Player one. Good.
I've never heard of those newspapers, but they definitely sounded Japanese, so that's kind of why I
Again.
figured that. 800 characters.
This orphan befriends a goatherd named Peter when she's sent to live with her grandfather in the Swiss Alps. Yes, player one.
Who is Heidi?
That's it. You again, player one.
Alright, 200 Animal Kingdom.
These animals of the order Chiroptera are the only mammals that can truly fly. Okay, player one.
What are bats?
Yes.
Alright, up to 10 grand now. Killing
Player
it
one.
so
You
far.
pick again, please.
Star Trek for 4.
This device briefly converts a person to energy, beams the energy, then reassembles the person. Yes, player one.
What's a transporter?
Right. Choose again, player one.
Alright, 400 for Adventures in the Air.
In 1907, Paul Cornu became the first man to fly freely in one of these horizontally rotored aircraft. Let's hear it, player one.
What's a helicopter? Sweet!
Select again.
Uh, 600 countries.
Avanti, il messaggero.
What's Italy?
It's player one. Good. Player one, pick again.
I'll go if That's My Mom for 200.
In 1758, Ben Franklin issued his last publication of this annual.
I think it's Poor Richard's Almanac. I've heard
Player
about
one.
this.
That
Yep.
is correct. You get to pick again, player one.
Alright, 600 Animal Kingdom.
Muskrats and woodrats belong to this order of mammals. Okay, player one.
What are Rodentia? Alright! My lead only continues to
Player
grow.
one, back to you.
That's my Ma, 800.
Let's take it over to Kelly.
Its silhouette is seen here.
What's Massachusetts?
Player one. Correct.
13 grand now.
You again, player one.
800 Adventures in the Air.
Taking 16 hours in 1919, British aviators Alcock and Brown became the first to cross this large body of water non-stop. Yes, player one.
What is the Pacific Ocean? No, maybe it's the Atlantic Ocean. But it's
Anyone else
okay.
wanna
I was on a
hazard a
pretty
guess
long
on
streak
this?
for a while, so I had to get one wrong again eventually.
Here's the correct response. The
Yeah, but Atlantic Ocean was what we needed there.
Player one, back to
All
you
right,
for our next selection.
I'll go with fictional characters for 200, actually.
In The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, Lucy gets into an old wardrobe.
Oh, I definitely know
and
about this.
discovers
What's
this
Narnia?
magical land. It's player one. That is correct. Please pick again, player one.
Alright, 800 for Star Trek jargon.
Created by Starfleet, it prohibits interference with other civilizations. Let's hear it, player one.
What's a cloaking device? No.
Anyone else?
But even still, I'm impressed with how much I knew in this category without even ever really watching Star Trek.
Here's what we wanted.
Anyway, it was a prime directive.
We return to you, player 1.
And I'll do countries by newspaper 200.
The Sydney Morning Herald, the Queensland
Gotta be
Independent.
what's Australia.
It's player 1.
Yep.
That's right. Way to go. Player 1, you pick again.
Alright, Animal Kingdom for 4. Finish off that category.
This feisty Thai fish blows sticky bubbles to make a nest, then puts the eggs in its mouth and blows them in the nest. Player 1?
Feisty, so I'm thinking fighting fish. Yep, makes sense.
You again, player 1.
Alright, I'll finish off fictional characters.
In the grim tale, The 12 Dancing Princesses, 12 sisters dance so much that they wear out these every night. Okay, player 1.
What are, their shoes? Got that one.
Choose again, player 1.
Alright, finish off that for my ma.
Game fish of the family Istiophoridae with a pointed snout. Let's hear it, player 1.
What's a mackerel?
Sorry.
Nope.
That's wrong.
Probably a marlin.
Anyone else
Which
care
is
to
actually
try
what I was
to come
originally
up with the
thinking,
correct
so probably should just went with it.
Here's the response we were looking for. The marlin.
Yep, should have just said that. Oh well.
Please pick again, player 1.
Alright, I'll finish off Star Trek jargon.
The Type 2 of this weapon had a max power setting of 16 and could be set to heat, disrupt, or stun. Yes, player 1.
What's the phaser? Alright!
Way to go. Player 1.
800
back to
countries
you
in the
for
air.
Our next selection. Haaretz Ma'ariv.
This one I don't really know. My opponents still have
We're
nothing.
talking about Israel.
Anyway, it was Israel.
And we'll wrap up the board.
Final
with
Avengers in the
this
Air
one.
600.
August 1983 saw the first night launch of
I think
this
it's a space
reusable
shuttle.
U.S. orbital vehicle. Okay, player 1.
Yep, so I'm up to 13,200 at the end of the Jeopardy round, and both my opponents have absolutely nothing. You love to see it. I am just crushing this game right now. But of course, there is still time for things to change in the double Jeopardy round, so let's hope I can keep up this momentum.
$400 to $2,000 in these categories.
And the categories are plays.
October 1st.
Ooh.
Defined in the OED. Birds. What a TV character. And the Vatican. All right, player
All right,
2.
we're starting off
As
with plays for
promised,
400.
You pick first in Double Jeopardy. You might need a learner's permit to watch Paula Vogel's Pulitzer Prize play, How I Learned to Do This. Yes, player 1.
How I learned to dance? No.
Any other takers?
It's okay, though.
The correct response is Drive.
Drive, okay.
Player 2. Pick again.
400, what a TV character.
Well, golly. He left his job and home in Mayberry to join the Marine Corps. Let's hear it, player 1.
Who is Gomer Pyle? All right.
Player
Let's do this
1,
thing category
back
for
to you.
2000.
Hardcore fans of Gilligan's Island know that this character's real name is Roy Hinckley.
I do not watch Gilligan's Island, so I do not know.
Here's what we were looking for. The Professor.
Professor, okay.
Select again.
Defined in the OED for 2000.
To move from site to site on the internet. Player 1.
What is browse? No, it's gotta be surf. I had it between the two of them,
Anyone
but
else care to try to come up with a
I was
correct
kind of like
response?
trying to juggle which one would make more sense.
Here's the correct response. To surf.
Yep, surf it is.
You get to pick again.
Birds for 2,000.
This bird of the family Gruidae can be distinguished from the heron by the bustle of feathers over its rump.
I do not know this one. Okay, Holly's gonna try it. First clue for her. Crane.
Right.
Okay, it was a crane.
We return to you, player
800
3.
TV character.
On the Addams Family, he was married to Morticia.
I'll give it a try.
Let's hear it, player 1.
Who is Uncle Fester?
Sorry.
No.
Anyone else want to hazard a guess on this? Here's the correct response.
We were looking for Gomez.
Player 3, pick again.
400 OED.
The director of an orchestra or chorus. Player 1.
What's the conductor? All right.
Player
2000,
1, back to
October
you
1st.
for our next 1970. 5 million people turn out in Cairo.
I'm trying to think.
for
Who would
his
have died in
funeral.
1970?
It's player 1.
Oh, God. I should have stayed out this one. I don't know any of these guys. I'm just going to guess who is Anwar Sadat. I have no idea. No.
That's not it.
Fuck. I should have backed off that
Anyone
one. I was off to such a great start in the Jeopardy round 2, but things are slowly but surely falling apart.
Here's the correct response. Gamal Abdel
Gamal
Nasser.
Abdel Nasser. Okay.
Choose again, player 1.
2000 Vatican.
The faithful can make offerings via cash or credit card to the fund called This Man's Pence. Yes, player 1.
Who is Paul?
No.
Oh my God.
Anyone else want to hazard a guess on this?
Well, it's a shame. I had such an amazing start in a Jeopardy round. It sucks that everything is just falling apart for me right now.
Here's what we were looking for. Peter.
Peter, okay.
Player 1. You pick again,
Plays for
please.
2000.
In 2006, New Yorkers awoke to find his 1935 play, Awake and Sing, back on Broadway. Okay, player 1.
Who is Arthur Miller?
Sorry.
Come on!
Any other takers?
Maybe it's Clifford Odets.
Yes, player 3. That
Yep, and just like that, it's suddenly a game.
You again, player 3.
400 October 1st.
1971. This complex opens near Orlando, Florida. Okay, player 1.
What is Walt Disney World?
Right.
There we go!
You get to pick again.
Alright,
player 1.
OED 16.
A road junction designed so that traffic streams do not intersect. It's player 1.
What's an overpass? What?
Anyone else care to try to come up with a correct
Oh
response?
boy.
The correct response is an interchange.
Interchange. To be fair, that probably would have been my second
Please
guess.
pick again, player 1.
Alright, Birds for 16. Answer there, the Daily Double.
Answer. The first of the daily doubles.
All
You're
right,
in
good.
second
I'll
place,
bet it
so
all.
What is your wager?
Gonna
going
have
be?
to win it with
How
the
much
way
are
this
you going
game is
to wager,
suddenly
player
going for
one?
me.
Okay, here is the clue. Musical name of Cygnus Buccinator.
What is the... Can't be a hummingbird, right? That'd be way too easy, I think. What's the trumpeter swan?
You are
Okay,
now
there we
in
go. Got that
second
right.
place. We return to you, player one.
Okay, plays for 16.
Matthew Burnett turned this Our Town playwright's novel, Theophilus North, into a play.
I don't know.
Here's the correct response. Thornton
Gordon
Wilder.
Wilder, okay.
Select again.
1600 for the Vatican.
The Inventario Manoscritti room is part of this Vatican building. Player one?
What is the Sistine Chapel?
Nope.
Really now?
Anyone else? We're talking about the library.
Library, okay.
Player one, back to you.
1600 October 1st.
1880. John Philip Sousa becomes the leader of this military branch's band. Let's hear it, player one.
What's the Navy?
No, that's not right.
Maybe it's the Marine Corps.
Any other takers?
It's amazing just how spectacularly I blew
Here's the
this
response
lead.
we were looking for. The Marine Corps.
Yeah, Marine Corps.
We return to you,
1600
player
TV
one.
character. Daily double. And I've already lost almost all my money I got for the last daily double, so might as well just do it
Daily
again.
double. You're tied with player three. All right, here's your clue. During a dream sequence, it was revealed that this Richard Dean Anderson character had the first name Angus.
Who is MacGyver?
Congratulations.
All right, double
You're
back
still
up.
in first, player one. Player
At
one.
least the daily doubles are gone. Birds 800.
Listen, you white-bellied bustard. I know where you live. This continent's savannah. Yes, player one.
What's Africa? All right.
Correct. Choose again, player one.
1200 October 1st.
1961. This man hits his 61st homer of the season. Okay, player one.
Who is Mickey Mantle? No.
I'm sorry. That's incorrect. Anyone else care to try to come up with a correct response? Player two.
Roger Maris.
That's correct.
Okay, Katie gets her first correct answer.
Select again.
800 October 1st.
1800. Spain cedes this large territory to France. Let's hear it, player one.
What is... Louisiana?
Right. You get to pick again, player one.
Alright, Vatican 12.
The four papal these churches include St. Peter's and St. John Lateran. It's player one.
What are basilicas?
Yeah.
Alright.
Player one, back to you.
OED 800.
A lofty tower forming part of a church. Yes, player one.
What's a steeple?
You got it.
Figured as much.
Player one, back to you for our next
Alright, I'll go with
selection.
the Vatican for 4.
Crispin of Viterbo was the first one of these created by John Paul II. Let's hear it, player one.
What is... Bishop?
Nope.
No.
Anyone else?
I'm gonna pinch myself if it's the Pope, considering we literally just got a new Pope recently.
Player 3?
Pope?
Sorry.
No, okay, well then, that narrows it down.
Anyone else want to hazard a guess on this? It's player 2.
It was a saint.
Yes. Player 2, you pick again.
800 Vatican.
You may not use cell phones or felt-tip pens when researching in the secret these. Okay, player 1.
What are... Catacombs?
Nope.
No.
Anyone else care to try to come up with a correct response? Yes, player 2.
Archives?
Correct.
Okay.
You again, player 2.
800 plays, finishing over
The
the
play
$800
Spinning
clues.
into Butter explores political correctness at a small college in this Green Mountain state.
Ooh, what is Vermont?
Player 1? Good. Please pick again, player 1.
Birds 12.
This common long-legged wading bird gets its name from a prop used by circus performers. It's player 1.
What's a stilt?
Yep.
Alright.
You get to pick again,
Alright, I'll
player
finish
1.
off OED.
A large, many-celled berry with a leathery yellow, orange, or red rind. Let's hear it, player 1.
Alright, what's a pomegranate?
That is
Alright.
correct. Choose again,
Finish off
player
birds.
1. Perhaps this thrush, a type of babbler, hangs out at comedy clubs with the same named hyena. Okay, player 1.
Alright, what's heckling? No.
That's not right.
I
Anyone
think
else?
the good news, though... Well, actually, no, that's not true. Depends on how he gets this right or not.
It's player 2. No.
Okay, I was gonna say it could be a
Any other
runaway game
takers?
for me, but... If she gets these next two clues, that might not be the case.
Yes, player 3.
And yeah, she's got this one. I was laughing. That probably would have been my second guess. Should have just fucking said it. Oh
Player
well.
3. Back to
Anyway,
you.
plays 1200.
Moonlight and Magnolias depicts the epic struggle to turn this novel into a 1939 film.
I think I might know this one
Okay, player 1.
though. What's Gone with the Wind? All right. Yeah, because I recently watched a video about that, so thank God.
And
So it is a
we'll
runaway
wrap the
game
board
after
with
all.
this
Anyway,
one.
TV character 1200.
Pavel was the first name of this Star Trek character, played by Walter Koenig.
Come on, not more Star Trek. But
Let's hear it,
anyway,
player 1.
who is Scotty? No.
That's wrong.
So
Anyone
unfortunately,
else
I lost
has
gun in the
any
double
guesses?
Jeopardy round, but even still, it is still going to be a runaway game. I definitely was having a bit of a downfall for a second, but luckily I did also bring it back later
what
on,
we
so
want.
thank God.
Chekhov.
Anyway, it was Chekhov, and damn it, I should have figured.
I'll see you all for Final
well.
Jeopardy
So
in just a
anyway,
moment.
still got a runaway game for Daniel, though, which is great.
This is the Final Jeopardy
And the
category.
category is the 50,
50
states.
states.
All right. All right, well,
So, what's your
I don't want to do anything stupid, so I'm just going to go 3,500.
Press the corresponding direction on the plus control pad to select your response. And now the final clue. It was the only state physically and politically formed directly because of the Civil War.
Oh, I know this one. What is West Virginia?
And your response?
North Carolina? Nope.
And that will set you back.
She lost everything.
Did you come up with the correct response?
Yep, Holly got it. West Virginia.
And this correct response will add how much to your score?
She didn't bet anything, though. Interesting.
What did you put as your response?
I also, of course, said West Virginia.
With that correct response, you will gain
3,500, so I'm going to win Daniel $15,500. Not my greatest total, but hey, it's not bad either.
champion, player one.
Very good. Like I said, it could have been even better if I didn't have such a freaking
Good game.
long drought and
Thank
double
you so
Jeopardy
much for
meeting,
playing.
so many incorrect answers, but the important thing is that I brought it back and won, and that's all that really matters. So anyway, thank you all for watching this segment, guys. I hope you all enjoyed watching this, including Daniel, and I'll see you guys all for segment number 5 coming up very soon. Take care.